Happy Halloween! Yeah, it's that time of year, and so I thought what a wonderful excuse to share some of my favorite spooky board games. And let's face it, so many of them are a little bit spooky, so it's just a great excuse. I'm Tracy from Queen of the Board, and welcome! And these are my recommendations for Halloween board games. Betrayal at House on the Hill. This one is probably one of the first board games that ever joined my collection. It's truly just a really fun time. I think it's 3 to 6 players, Avalon Hill. You will start out cooperatively exploring this big house. And gradually, as the game progresses, there's a timer, and at some point, you will trigger the second phase of the game, where one of you goes over into the dark side. Are you going to be a vampire, a witch, a demon? I have no idea, because there are some, I think, 50 scenarios in this game, and I've never had the same thing happen twice, which just really adds to the fun. There's very little you can do to prepare. So this is fantastic on its own, and then they bring us Betrayal Legacy. So very similar, again, from Avalon Hill, 3 to 5 players, but this time it adds that legacy where you're building on different generations. Your choices are going to matter, and it's really just a great time. Fury of Dracula. This one is from Fantasy Flight Games, and it is a one versus many. You have Dracula traveling around a map of Europe, but everyone else are the investigators trying to find him and put a stop to his blood-sucking ways. It's a long game, I think about 2 hours usually, and you need the right collection of people that are really invested in the game. If you can get that, then the tension is fantastic. Really well thought out. There was a long period of time where it was hard to find this game as well, but I think it's more available now. So this is a strong favorite of mine that unfortunately just doesn't make it to the table as often as I would like. Also from Fantasy Flight Games, from the Lovecraft world, we've got Mansions of Madness. This one is an app-driven game where you're moving around a mansion, and it's a longer game, 1 to 5 players, but again, maybe 2 hours here. The story and the theme is really strong and beautifully done. Usually you're trying to, stop a ritual, something like that, but very much an exploration game. There's a good balance in here as well between the opportunities to attack the bad guys and try and find clues, solve puzzles. So this works really well as a solo. I like it as a 2-player. I think at the higher player count it can go on maybe a little bit too long, but I really have had some wonderful experiences with this game. And of course, we can't talk about Fantasy Flight and Lovecraft without talking about Arkham Horror, the card game, which I have so many, so many boxes of this game. It doesn't come with a board, it's all card-based, and the cards build out the story and the map and the locations that you can travel to. It is very deep into the theme and the storyline. You have a deck for each of your investigators, your characters, and you have that opportunity to build the deck and balance the deck so that they work really well together. Traveling around, there are storylines in countries all over the world, different climates. You've got the Arctic, you've got the different the pyramids, everything you could think of. It's about 45 minutes per player as well. So as a solo game, pretty quick to the table. You just pull out the decks. Really recommend it. You need the core game, of course, to go with it. This is just one of the expansions, but highly recommend. And if you're not sure how to build the deck for your characters, there are some pre-built decks that you can use as well. This one's a great gift for anyone who loves a strong story, and it works great 1-2 players. I wouldn't, again, want to play this one at a higher player count, but maybe that's just me. But for 1 to 2 people, it is perfect. Cthulhu Death May Die. This is the fear of the unknown, and this one I am so impressed with. This one's more of a dungeon crawler in contrast to the other games. You have 6 episodes per box set, and each episode is set in a different place with different objectives. Usually it's a little bit puzzly, and at the end you're always going to be battling that big elder god. Huge advantage for me is that it's got miniatures, so I really enjoyed painting them up and just adding to the table presence. Beautiful miniatures, of course, from Cool Mini or Not, Simon. It's a pretty quick game too, about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and very much fun. So because it's modular, you can change the elder ones, you can change your investigators, you can change your episodes, and that means there's got to be a lot of replayability here. Well, I'm sure if you take a look at my channel, you'll be able to tell that I'm a big fan of Final Girl. So this is series 1, and I've also been looking at series 2. Series 3 is about to arrive soon. But if you love to play solo and any type of classic horror movie that you can imagine will be found in one of these boxes. You've got your traditional cabin in the woods, you've got your poltergeists, you've got your Terminator, aliens, everything, and it's just so well done. I really enjoy this game. Considering how little is in each of the little cassettes, it's so impressive how well they've managed to build that experience. It puts you right in there. The games aren't too long. You are feeling that tension all the way through. It's so fun, and it really feels like you've been in a story. Every movie you could imagine in the horror genre has been captured by Final Girl at this point, and they've done an amazing job. The art is beautiful. Just the little touches of detail, those little moments from the movies that will just snap you right back in. It's great. There's a fair amount of luck in this game. Of course, you're rolling dice, but you can do some things to mitigate. Be prepared to lose. I lose this game all the time, but I enjoy it. I'm laughing when I do. And for a solo game, that's exactly what I'm looking for. This one is my favorite, my #1 horror game for sure, Terrorscape. But you can't play it solo. It works fabulously at 2, 3, 4, even squeeze in for 5 players. The games are only half an hour long, and so I think last time we played, we must have played it 5 times in a row. On one side of the house, you have the killer. On the other, the people who have sort of snuck into that house, they've broken in and they're hiding and they're trying to get back out, looking for keys, trying to fix a radio. The tension is building all the way through this game. You're fully engaged. It's so much fun, and it's not that easy to get hold of. So if you do happen to see a copy of this, I really recommend it. They just released a couple of expansions as well, just adding more variety, more options for the bad guys. You know, you've got your classic ghosts, you've got the guy with the axe, the jungle woman type crawling out with all the sort of almost Japanese theme. Yeah, it's so many things. I love it. Can't rave about this one enough. So thank you so much for watching this video. I love sharing these things with you all. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like and subscribe, and have a fantastic Halloween. Bye.